All right, thank you.
Good and holy man.
Good morning. Welcome to Toastmasters. Today is September 2nd. Our meeting today is going to be an interesting one. I am zooming in so that I get to have the experience from the other end today. Our invocator today is Dr. Gerald Stevens. So I'm going to go right to him. Dr. Gerald Stevens, our invocation.
Can you hear me on Zoom? Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. A few words of inspiration today. People who are crazy think they can change the world are the ones who do. The only limit to realization of tomorrow will be your doubts of today. Franklin Roosevelt. Today's accomplishments are yesterday's impossibilities. Robert Schuller. Hopefully those words inspired you for today. Mr. Toastmaster or President.
Mr. Toastmaster President is here. The next thing is the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is at the front of the room. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. And with that, basically it is the opening of the meeting. We're good to go. I hand this officially over to our Toastmaster, who hopefully is, I'll give him time to get up and get over to the front of the room. I said them, didn't I?
Her.
Okay. Oh, it's Jill. Yes.
Yes, it's me.
Jill, yes. All right. So as awkwardly as I can, I'm going to hand it over to our Toastmaster today, Jill Roaring, everybody. Yay!
Welcome, everyone. Good morning. I've chosen the theme of yard sales today as a shameless promotion. As we are having our yard sale this weekend. So that it just kind of was an easy thing to think about. Our first job holder that I'm going to take on today is Wordmaster David Jones. Do you have a word for us?
Yes, Miss Toastmaster, I do. The word of the day is, keeping in the theme of yard sale, is negotiate. Negotiation or negotiated. And it means obtain or bring about by discussion. So a good one would be, I negotiated a great little baseball cap from a Mets yard sale. Back to you, Toastmaster.
New York Yankees. I'm not a baseball fan. Our master is Margot Sue Bittner.
So whatever you're gonna fill in, don't do it. I have to get over more. You get the mic now? Okay.
Or you can see the camera.
Well, I don't care about being on camera. You should know that by now.
I saw you, the Union Sun forced you in.
Yeah, they did. They really, they almost hogtied me to get my picture too. Anyway, I will be counting the ahs, ums, ohs, so's, and I'll leave all the kindness and the wannas and everything else to Kara. Okay? But that's what I'll be doing today.
Our grammarian is Sylvia Baptiste.
I will be listening to colorful language, and I'm also sitting between two people who are very good at picking up the language that people speak. Also, on the second note, dues are due. Thank you.
Thank you for that reminder, Sylvia. Housekeeping, Ryan seems to be missing. I need a quote master if anybody can come up with one. So we'll skip that for a moment.
Hold on. Today,
Oh,
today is Thursday. So Marianne Williamson, your playing small serves no one, and it is dire for the planet. Marianne Williamson.
okay. Thank goodness for daily planners. Len Thornton is our jester. What kind of jokes have you got for us?
One, if somebody else is using the microphone, I won't either. I assume everybody can hear. A man goes to a garage sale. He walks up to a brand new 50-inch flat screen television. It's marked for $1. The man asks, "Is this TV seriously $1?" The owner says, "Sure is. Even comes with surround sound." The man says, "What's the catch then?" The owner says, "Well, the volume is stuck on high and it's always going to be loud." The man says, "Well, I can't turn that down."
Tracy Farrell, along with finding a quote, is our timer today.
Toastmasters, I want you all to know, this is the first time I've been on time to a meeting in probably 2 years. Anybody else in this meeting, it's non-negotiable. You have to be timely in your speeches. Table topics, 1.5 to 2 minutes. Speeches, generally 5 to 7 minutes. And evaluations, 2 to 3. You will be given the light or cut off if you go past. So another question is, the people on Zoom, can they see this light or do you have something?
They cannot this week.
We could put you here instead.
Yeah, that
Is
would work.
that comfortable?
Oh, that's great.
Okay,
We do have a long cord on it, so.
okay, well, as I throw this away, we'll figure that out.
All right. Thank you, Tracy. Our tech and gesture masters, Beth Banks. Over there someplace.
If I can figure out all these buttons, I don't know. I'm not a very good tech master, that's for sure. I've totally forgotten how to do the pin thing from last week, and I can't find the button. But oh well, I'll just go with it and try. My job will be trying to figure out these techs and how are we doing with the tech. Maybe not so good, but we'll see. And I will try to be looking at the gestures, and someone just type me a message how to pin again, because my brain is mush. So back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Beth. Our quiz master is Marty Johnson, who said he was going to be here.
He's here.
Oh, he's on Zoom? Okay. There you are. All right, Marty, tell us what your job is.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. As quiz master this morning, I will not only be testing my own listening skills, but I'll be testing all of my fellow Toastmaster listening skills, because I will be carefully taking note of a few key points, few things that stand out in my mind, and I will bring them up in the question format at the end of the meeting and see who's been listening carefully. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. And our general evaluator is Katie.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I will be listening to the overall meeting as well as our evaluators and our Toastmaster especially. And light check from the Zoom audience. Can you see the light? It's on yellow. We're doing a test.
Green, yellow.
Can you see the light? Don't go to the light. Come back. Come back. Is that a yes? It's a no. We can't see it quite yet, so we're gonna have to slide it over.
It's visible. It is visible.
We'll keep working on it.
It's visible.
It just looks like white light on
It's
the
too
thing.
Yeah, it
small.
does look like white.
Well, the red kind of looks red and the green, it does, but it's,
Oh, I see. what
they're
you're
gonna
saying.
have to pay attention to the color.
Set your timers on your phones, folks.
All right. Now, I did some research on yard sales. As we all know, they're also called garage sales, driveway sales, moving sale, which implies you're gonna get a better deal because they're trying to get rid of stuff more so. Tag sale, which is tends to go along with estate sales. And usually, as we all know, it's things that are, you don't need anymore and you want to get rid of and you want to get them. My research, I discovered the first yard sale was held by the ancient Egyptians. Why am I getting such a laugh here? About 2500 BC by the Pharaoh Solomon. He had excess material handling supplies, such as rollers, pulleys, some excess limestone, ropes and chariots that he was trying to get rid of. So that was our first yard sale. Like I said, this is a shameless promotion for our own yard sale this weekend. I don't know about anybody else, but my family, me and Steve and I, have been the recipients of several generations of stuff. Nobody threw anything out. Now, some of it does have value. Some of it does have value. It's amazing what some of the things that you think were nothing, like apparently Pyrex was quite the desirable thing now. And we're always hopeful that all the other things we have are have value too. So we have been dutifully working on setting things up, and right now our front yard is full of tents and tables, and even some stuff on the tables already, which we will fill completely this afternoon if we go home. With that, I will bring our first part of the thing to the meeting to Jackie Kenny, who is doing table topics. Wait, Jackie.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Oh, it's nice to shake hands.
Fearlessly, we shake hands. Good morning, everyone here and far away. I don't have many people to choose from this morning who don't have a job, but I'm willing to negotiate with people who already had very brief jobs and give them a little bit extra to do. So, yard sales, not my favorite thing. I have enough junk. I don't need to go rummaging through other people's junk and buying more. But I know many people who love yard sales and garage sales. So I'm thinking Nancy Ferry would like to tell us about negotiations that you've done at yard sales, either in the distant past or the recent past. Nancy Ferry.
Negotiation is not my thing. If I go to a yard sale, it is with somebody else who does that well. If it says $100, I either walk away or I say, oh, that's a good deal. I'm not a negotiator. I have had many tag sales in our family. It was always called a tag sale. I'm from New England, and that's just what you call all of them. I don't know how much of the variety of names there are, but it's always a tag sale. When we moved out of our house in Lockport, we moved into an apartment just 3 years ago with my mother-in-law, and we had huge sales. We gave things away. We could not take it, and we too were recipients of many generations of stuff, just stuff. I couldn't even have my grandmother used to collect salt and pepper shakers. Oh dear, that was a terrible thing. I mean, And fortunately, when we sold them, after she died, they were something that was a treasured commodity. So we sold salt and pepper shakers for a lot of money, really a strange collection kind of thing. So I have this love-hate relationship with yard sales, because if I do go, I want to take something home, and I want to help out the people that I'm buying from. However, I don't have any room for it, so it usually goes somewhere. I see these things that need a home. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I want it. It needs to go somewhere, so I stay away as much as I can.
Table topics master. It looked like Thomas Helpline did not have a job other than opening and closing the meeting this morning. So I have a feeling Thomas probably likes to bargain with people at yard sales. So I'm going to ask Thomas to tell us about an experience he had at a yard sale. Thomas Helpline.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. I was able to pull over safely here. There was a slight accident on my drive. So I've been at several different yard sales, garage sales, and one of the things that always amazes me is the pricing people put on things. They've often will put ridiculous pricing on, or what I consider bargain pricing on. If I pull up and it's bargain pricing, I really try not to be too cruel to the person that's doing the sale, because obviously they are trying to get rid of the items. They put 50 cents, 75 cents, $1 on things. One of the things I dislike are the people at the opposite end of the spectrum. Let's just say there are certain neighborhoods where they have a yard sale. You go to get some twinkle lights for your porch. You know, maybe they're in the shape of a little beer bottle or a Hawaiian thing. Well, this woman, I walked up and they had the exact same price on there, the sticker from the store. And right next to that, she put the same exact price. I was like, that's not how yard sales work. And she just didn't want to listen to me. So I tried for over 15 minutes to bargain on anything at the sale that I could. Was totally unsuccessful. So finally I went to the store, bought the exact same lights. They were half price. Came back to the yard sale to show her that yes, these are only $3 brand new at the store. No one's going to pay you $6. And that she was totally out of touch with what a yard sale was and how to price a yard sale. So negotiating was not possible there at all. She still was 100% firm that she was not going to change her price.
Red light.
Thank you.
And finally, who can we call on to tell us about more experiences yard selling? I have had a couple of yard sales at my house. We have this big barn, and people used to ask to store things all the time when they were moving. And then eventually they want to hold a yard sale at my house, which is very annoying because yard sale starts at 9, no early birds. Someone's knocking on your door at 7 a.m. wanting to look at things. Like I said, I'm not a yard sale person. So David Licata, would you like to tell us about your yard sale experiences, how you've negotiated? And I can't wait to hear it.
Well, there we are. Oh, I mean, there we are. My situation is this, like Nancy, I don't like to negotiate. But I want to make damn sure that
all the stuff is used, and you're not even in the same zip code as full price. That's not happening. So I've discovered that in a small town like Lockport, yard sales can be incredible. My wife and I go to this estate sale out there in the Carlisle Gardens, where I grew up. And we have this lovely home. And I figured out who the owner was. Whose items these items belong to. I said, that fella's the same size as me. I went home with 3 shirts that have never been out of the box at a very reasonable price. So that's the benefits of a small town. Sometimes it gets a little too close, and you feel like you're picking over somebody's bones at an estate sale because you knew the person. But so it goes. Now, just this past weekend, we went out to this humongous farm on 104, and I've never seen so much stuff in my life. But the bonus was, you can always find that piece of Corningware that broke 2 years ago, and you can replace it. So we accomplished that. My bride found a 3-decker cookie cooling rack. So from Christmas, we'll be in full production. Right, but my favorite story is I went to a garage sale and there was one of those amazing meat tenderizers with the 9,000 blades. I knew that they retail for north of $35. I walked over to the lady and said, I'm sorry, there's no price on this. She said, 50 cents. And I ran to the car. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master.
And thank you to all our participants. Madam Timer, could we have a report on how everyone did this morning? Happy to report everybody qualified. I will make sure when Phil is out front, I'm gonna hold that sign up so you can see a little bit better. Everybody qualified, even Dave with the 15-second buffer. All right, thank you. Our word master, how did your word negotiate and negotiation do this morning?
So far, so good. All 3 of the contestants used in word negotiate in one form or another. So they all qualify.
Thank you. So now we can vote. And I will turn things back over to our Toastmaster of the day. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jackie, for some lovely questions. I'm going to keep moving along and save all my silly filler stuff for later. After we finish making our voting, our first speaker is going to be Mike Licata, who's being evaluated by Carol Ann Halstead. So Carol Ann, what do you know about Mike's speech?
Today, Mike is doing an icebreaker of 4 to 6 minutes. And it's engaging the humor path. Is that its title?
Yes, I do.
4 to 6.
4 to 6 because it's an icebreaker. All right, Mike Licata, are you ready? Mike Licata's title is Side Effect. Side effect.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. This morning, I'm going to talk about more of the lessons that I've learned through Toastmasters. I think that the pathways and giving a second icebreaker, most people know who I am at this point. So I have decided to talk about many of the things that I have learned through our experience, through my personal experiences a Toastmaster this morning. I have found that once you get comfortable speaking in front of the audience and once you get past that initial fear of public speaking, the next best thing that you pick up and the biggest side effect is that you learn how to listen. You learn how to evaluate and you learn how to become a better listener. And I think that over time becomes more important than actually than speaking in front of public and getting in front of speaking in front of audiences, because you can pick up a lot of nonverbal cues and a lot of body language and other things just by listening and paying attention. You become a better speaker, you become a more impactful speaker, and you definitely do a better job developing as a public speaker in the workplace setting and even socially among friends and things like that. So I've also learned in this past year and a half how to pay attention to technology and how to stay more in the shadows and when you pay attention when you're doing Zoom meetings and when you're doing more virtual work. And you've found that you continue to learn and continue to both speak with people in the room and through the internet and over computers, because that is where the world is going. I think one of the things that we need to learn and get more comfortable with is these hybrid settings, and the fact that I think here at AM Lockport we do a great job of preparing people to get used to both the hybrid in-person and online settings when it comes to developing our speaking skills. And I do enjoy the new challenge of this new room, because you're learning a lot. You're learning how to speak both to the camera and to the audience in the room. So I hope to continue to develop my skills. I hope that I am able to continue to grow as a Toastmaster and continue to learn from each and every one of you through both online learning and through the other experiences, through my own personal experience as a Toastmaster. I know that we're growing together as a club, and that so far we've done a great job of developing and growing as a club and learning how to become better public speakers. And I think one of the biggest things that we can do now is to learn through listening, paying attention, and doing a better job. And I look forward to continue to grow as a Toastmaster and continue to grow as a better public speaker for work and for being among friends and trying to negotiate life. So that's a piece of one. Thank you.
Our next speaker is going to be Phil Russell, who is trying to finish off his level 5. He's being evaluated by Tom Moran. So, Tom, you got anything to tell us about Phil's speech?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Phil is doing a speech from, it's called Develop Your Vision. That's the grouping that he's working out of. I don't know exactly the specific title of his speech, but the purpose of this project is for the member to develop a detailed vision of his or her own personal life, professional life, or organization, and then present that with their thoughts to the audience. I believe his time is 5 to 7 minutes. And Madam Toastmaster, I believe you have the title for his speech for the introduction. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Yes, I do. And Elaine Moon just walked in. Very nice to see Elaine. Phil Russell with another reprise of his speech, Living to 100. Phil Russell, Living to 100. Take it away, Phil.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. I hope everyone is happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Man, I look back at this, it's a visionary communication. And this has changed since I started this. Back in April, 4 or 5 months ago, I started working on this path, visionary communications. And I finally have made it to the very end. And what happened is I started off at healthy, wealthy, happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. And it morphed into living to 100. Oh, how did that happen? It was a more metamorphosis that happened in my personal and professional life, because I looked up and saw, I remembered, I says, wait a minute, living to 100. I was listening to television and different doctors, things like that. And they were talking about aging. And my mother being one of the starters of the Gale Association with Senior Citizen Center, I started thinking, and this is how it all morphed into this living to 100. Now, most importantly, is if you're going to live to 100, you need to, it's a combination. You're going to need to be happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. And as I said before, the wealth is not just money. More importantly, it's socialization, friends, family, things like that. All of this happened. And it's really interesting because over this period of time, I didn't do everything exactly as the path wanted me to, but I did it as it described you should do it. I did not want to force myself into just getting it done. That is not what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to accomplish what it set out for. So I really got into the details. Some of the details I didn't do quite as they asked, but I did 90% of it. It's continually more metamorphosizing, I guess that would be the word, because it's just like life. Give you an example. I was going to be in person today. The problem is family comes first. I had it all planned out. My wife was off and I could get out, don't have to worry about the dogs because we have an aged dog that's, you know, she's about 100 years old and we're taking care of it. She's part of it. Well, what happened was we had something that needed to be done, not negotiable. So I decided the wonder of this technology allowed me to do this speech even though I'm not in person. So as Toastmasters has changed, our meetings have changed. This idea of hybrid is really good. It metamorphoses, it changes, it constantly it changes. I think that's a good thing. I really do. It helps us to move forward. Through this magic of technology, I am able to be at a meeting that I'm not there at. Physically, I'm not there, but I'm there. And I can see all of you. Everything is just great to be able to do it. I'm going to continue to work on trying to get there because I think it is more important to be there in person. And getting back to this idea of living to 100 and that it's all a part of this because Toastmasters makes me happy. Being happy helps you be healthy. I have a lot of friends. That helps me to be wealthy. And you know something? I'm learning something every day. That helps me to be wise. So I am fulfilling these. Now, my next step, innovative planning. That's my next path. And this going from visionary communication now to innovative planning is going to be a great
segue. It's going to be a great transformation over, because I want to work on that planning. And that is very important. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with this project. I'm not going to try and just get through it. I want to follow it, follow the plan, because they have some good ideas there. As you all know, I was not a big proponent of the pathways to start off with. I still believe that we should be able to do the old manuals. You won't get credit for it, but people that need that, people that would be a little bit more intimidated by this pathways, I really believe that there's nothing wrong with using the old manuals. I really wish that Toastmasters International would bring it back in some form so that people could, morph from the old way into the new way over a period of time. And I think people will enjoy it more. I think we'll have a better recruiting tool if we do that. My plan now is to put into action happy, which I am, healthy, I'm working on it, see my doctors, follow all the things I'm supposed to do, wealthy, look at, I have all your friends at Toastmasters. I have a wealth of that. And knowledge is giving me the wisdom I need. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Phil. You didn't shake my hand, come on. Okay, our third speaker is also gonna be on Zoom. Mike Florio, his evaluator is Stephen Smith. I rescued you, I had that spot here.
I'm nice that way. I'm afraid as she said, jumped in at the last minute to do this, so I have very little knowledge of what Mike Florio is going to speak about today. So rather than detract from his speech, I know you have the title.
Yes.
Let's get right to this.
It's a 5 to 7 minute speech. And Mike Florio, his title is, let me write that down, the benefits of journaling. Mike Florio, let me write that down, the benefits of journaling.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, thank you very much. At my office, which I'm not in my office now, I haven't been in my office now for about 1.5 years, but at my office, over my desk, I have pinned to the wall a Chinese proverb. And that proverb reads, the palest of inks is better than the best of memories. And that's there to remind me to write things down. And I've been writing things down. I started journaling / logging since 2000 when I started with waste management. And part of the reason I started journaling or logging is that sometimes I have a memory like a steel sieve, where as soon as it comes into my mind, it's gone. So I really needed to write things down. What did I negotiate? Who did I talk to? What the price was? And it evolved from just writing down the person's name, what the price was, and then all of a sudden it became much, much more over the years. Journaling is a safe way to express yourself honestly and privately without worrying about the opinion or criticism of others. And really, in this day and age with Twitter, Facebook, all the other multimedia, if you try and express yourself a lot of times right now, you get, I don't know, what's the word, maybe vilified, okay? There's always somebody that's polarized that has the other side of the argument of your opinion. So really journaling is kind of a safe way to do it yourself. And journaling is great. It's been great for me. It helps me focus. It helps me set priorities, reach goals, and organize my thoughts. There's a few things that you have to keep in mind, I guess, when you're journaling. And the first thing is understand why. Why do you want to do it? You can't, I wouldn't recommend just picking up a piece of paper and starting, but you can. But to me, to understand why you're journaling is a good starting point. I mean, to me, it's nothing measured, nothing gained. So I'm looking at the goal a lot of times when I'm journaling. And it's not necessarily for me writing down every single thought as deep as I really want to. It's sometimes just a little note. Ran 5 miles today, or golfed an 85 or whatever. And that way I could look back at it and know kind of how I'm progressing on something. It could be a race, a time, a lower score, whatever my priority is, whatever my, possibly my workout, whatever. The second thing is get some type of material. There's a bunch of them out there. I really like this that Jackie gave us a couple weeks ago. That's really a great way to start. I started with a legal pad. I'd take a legal piece of paper, write down, put the date up in the corner for sure. And now I use Excel. The date's already there. I can type in whatever I want. The legal papers, what ended up happening for me was that over the 10, 15, 20 years, I had filing cabinets full of these things that, it became kind of cumbersome as to where to put them and how to look back. So with an Excel spreadsheet, it's pretty easy to look back and see, okay, what did I do that specific day, or where did I go, or who did I talk to? I got rid of a lot of the filing cabinets, but it's tough for me to let go of the legal paper because it's there. It's kind of like my little historical record, if you for lack of a better word. So, I mean, now there's Excel spreadsheets. Some people like to log in on their cell phones. There's video, there's audio record. There's a bunch of different ways that you can journal. To me, it's quick and easy on an Excel spreadsheet. Third is find the right time. Everybody's busy and you can't journal all day. So for me, I like to journal in the morning. It starts my day off really well with a cup of coffee. Some people like to journal at night because they can get all their thoughts out, and then it kind of helps them relax. I don't know how many times I used to go to bed with a laundry list of things that I wanted to accomplish maybe the next day, and I had trouble sleeping. But when you get all of those thoughts kind of out of your head, it makes you a little bit healthier because you can sleep a little bit better, if that makes sense. Keep it private. It's yours. A lot of people will be curious as to, hey, what are you writing, and your family maybe. To me, it's my private area where I can put down and jot down any thoughts I want. It's my little kind of oasis away from everybody else. I can write whatever I need to. Enjoy the process, really. It's supposed to be, to me, it's a fun thing. It's fun to look back. And that was one of my other points that I'll get to later. Grammar is not really that important. Sorry, Margot. You don't really need to, I can misspell whatever I want. I'm the only one who's going to read it. So it doesn't really matter as long as I can get the point. Now, sometimes some of my scribbles, I have to admit, I still can't decipher them, but to me, you know, and that might be one thing that I do miss about writing things down too, is I get to maybe doodle in margins or little pictures or whatever. But I still like the Excel spreadsheet, and the Excel spreadsheet kind of corrects my spelling anyways. Keep in mind the benefits. To me, the benefits are increasing business, you know, exploring opportunities. It's changed so much over the years. It started out as a way to log my runs. Now it's into managing my properties, whatever, you know, it's just evolved over the years. And again, the last thing is the fun part to me is revisiting some of the things that I've written down. It's really wild to go back years and to go, wow, I did that on that day. And you know, yesterday I had a massage, and I one of my guilty pleasures that I get massages, and the masseuse, she said, you know, I go, wow, I've been coming here for quite a while, maybe a couple of years. She goes, it's been a lot longer than that. So last night I looked that up in my log, and I started in 2013 getting massages every 6 weeks. So it's been over 7 years, and I didn't even realize it unless I looked into my journal. You know, I enjoy it, and I welcome people to give it a try for 20 days. You know, journaling is fun, it's easy. It's a great way to record your progress of what you're doing. And, you know, you can follow your dreams, really, you can. I think if you try it for 20 days, who knows, maybe you just might do it for 20 years. And in the words of Yul Brenner, so let it be written, so let it be done. Adam Toast.
Can we have a timer's report?
First, a great big shout out to Dave for backing us up online. Mike Licata, I let you squeak in. You came in with the 15-second buffer, so 15 second, 3:47. Phil Russell, 6:32, and Mike Florio, you were just way over.
Oh no, really? I couldn't
Like
see
2.5
the light.
minutes over.
Oh, jeez.
Welcome back to speaking at a time, Mike Florio. So,
Oh my gosh, I went over that far. I can't
so at
believe
this
it.
point, we will do our voting. And we can either vote for Mike Licata or Phil Russell.
Can't you give me a buffer?
Oh, but you're at home, you can take the buffer in.
Not that big.
Do they even make buffer?
There's one for your journal.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's going down.
I'm trying to keep this moving along because I have a time constraint with our quizmaster.
Oh.
Remind Tom Moran to watch Dave online for.
Okay.
I never thought I would be that guy.
Back to my shameless promotion. Our yard sale starts Friday, about 9 o'clock in the morning. It runs until 7 or dusk every day because we live across from Brownie's ice cream stand. So we continually get people coming over. So we don't shut down till dark.
Live in a cemetery?
Close to it.
Next door to it.
Close to the cemetery, yes. Other side.
Quiet neighbors.
Yes, it is a very quiet, with the exception of the boathouse in Sunset Grove. We get music.
Free music.
Yes, so there will be music as part of the entertainment. too.
Live band.
If you come late. Yeah, Nerds Gone Wild will be there Saturday, so stop over about 6, 7 o'clock Saturday, and you don't have to worry about paying for heavy drinks because we have an open bar policy too for our friends. Not for everybody who walks in.
Be there Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yes, the yard sales, like I said, is at 173 Harbor Street in Wilson, which is also Route 18. And it's Friday through Monday. Our first evaluator, Carol Ann. Tell us what you can about Mike's speech here.
Mike is very comfortable speaking. He has good eye contact with the camera and the audience. And I think one of the points he brought up, the importance of listening, was something that we always have to be reminded of. He does have a lot of hand gestures, and I know he like clenches his hands. Then he picked up the microphone, but he still, it's all kind of in the hands, which maybe was good when you were on Zoom, but maybe a few more types of gestures. The speech was very smoothly delivered. And I think what he could work on is more moving a little and more vocal variety. It's a very good icebreaker.
Thank you, Carol. Our second evaluator is Tom Moran. So Tom, tell us what you think about Phil's speech.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. This morning, I think what we saw was the culmination of 3 speeches that Phil had done on living to 100. And he sort of summarized what he had been talking about, and he summarized his journey, or as he put it several times, his metamorphosis or his metamorphorizing travels through this world of enlightenment and coming to this vision of living to 100. And he's shared this with us, and this is the third one. I've seen the 3 speeches that Phil has done on this, and I would agree with him that he has morphed into a very proficient virtual speaker. Phil's strength to me, when I watched him speak in prior speeches at meetings, has always been his presence in front of the club. He's very good about moving about and making eye contact with everyone and looking to his left and to his right, and his expressions and body movement always coincides with what he's trying to say. And it's very specific. He doesn't rehearse this. Phil's very natural about it. But one of the things that I noticed that he has specifically improved on is his delivery of the virtual speech, his eye contact. Now, I'm not sure whether the people in the audience there at the Bewley Building, what they were looking at, whether they were looking at the gallery view or the speaker view on their camera, but I looked at the speaker view here in the my office, and I noticed Phil's eye contact was superior. He very seldom would he look away from the camera, and that's not an easy thing to accomplish, that eye contact with the camera, because the camera is inanimate. That camera doesn't look back, and the camera doesn't give you any cues as to what you're doing. So I think he's done that exceptionally well. And I can tell that he has worked on it, because when he summed up his speech, he talked about the importance of including virtual learning into his aging process and everything that he has learned from doing that. Now, one thing I would recommend for Phil is, this is a sales pitch sort of a speech. I would recommend that he includes something in there for the audience to do specifically to achieve the same goal that he is looking at. So I think he did an excellent job, and I can hardly wait to see his next path. Thank you very much, Phil, and thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Barney's still here.
No, but he gave me his
Oh, okay. All right, so we'll hold off on that till later. then.
amazing technology.
Amazing technology. All right. Our next evaluator then is Stephen Smith. Evaluating Mike Florio.
This world of technology is going too fast for me, but I found this interesting because Mike was doing a throwback, talking about almost the lost art of keeping a journal, which is something that years ago everybody did, and now almost no one did. So it was great that he brought this back into our consciousness. He had a very well organized speech. He started out explaining why he got into it, when he got into it, and he started extolling the whole concept of doing it. Why do it? He explained that. I like his succinct expression, nothing ventured, nothing gained. He simply keep track of what you're doing. I like that. You get the right materials, find the right time to do it. All very good points. He was all very well organized in the way he presented the whole speech, and I like that. Then he started saying he uses Excel. That's great, but that's where you lose me because you're talking to me about Excel like me talking to you about Star Wars. We're not on the same plane here, so that's my fault. But he did make a logical reason for using it because he had all these file cabinets full of written material. So it does make sense to condense it on these media if you have them and you know how to use them. Now, the one thing that all of us do, including me, is we don't realize that they're only seeing us from about here up on the camera. So he was doing some hand gestures, but they were low on the screen and a lot of that is lost. And we don't realize that because as the other ones were saying, we're not playing to the camera. We don't realize what's being seen and what isn't as we're working the audience and not the camera. So that's something we all need to work on is making our gestures visible. He does have a very expressive face, and just seeing this, we can see his expression, we can see his passion, we can see he believed in what he was presenting to us. So I think it was a very great speech, and I thank you for bringing it to us today.
Thank you, Steve. And I have a timers report of our evaluators.
You can. I am happy to report that Tom Moran and Stephen Smith were able to negotiate their timing. Carol Ann, you came in short, just about a minute.
Okay. So we can vote for Steve or Tim. I'm sure we'll start our voting right now. Yard sales. There are common, as you probably have seen, Cambria has a townwide yard sale. Wilson has had townwide yard sale. The biggest yard sale is held on Highway 127 corridor. It's known as the world's longest yard sale. It's along a 630-mile long stretch of road. Yeah. The headquarters is located at Fentress County Chamber of Commerce in Jamestown, Tennessee. The sale officially starts the first Thursday of August. However, many sellers in the area will start the weekend before. Speaking of early birds, as we were setting up last night, a woman came into our yard and wanted to buy our friend's tables. He would not have been happy with us since he needs the tables to put his things on for the yard sale. Along with the fact that he didn't even own all the tables. He borrowed some. Should have sold the borrowed ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
You left them out by the road. That's my shameless promotion. I'm sure Len has the ability to put this online for all our. And Tom, I expect you to show up for this yard sale this weekend.
We already posted.
Oh, did it? Good, wonderful. As part of the promotion too, I've talked about my gardens numerous times. If anybody would like to come down to see the gardens, that's possible. That's welcome. You're welcome to that too. They're still not mature. They're still growing. I just planted a bunch of stuff last weekend. But they're, if you would like to come see them, we'll be, like I said, we'll be there and the bar will be open. Two people we know. Not to the straight person walking along.
We don't have liquor license.
No, we don't have liquor license.
No sales.
Yeah. We did have one person one time years ago who she walked up to Steve after she got there and she wasn't somebody that was one of Steve's favorite people. And she said to him, Steve, can I have a beer? This was about 11 o'clock in the morning, I think.
Bar's not open yet.
He actually said he didn't have any beer. Somehow she believed the lie. I don't know why. Yard sales bring out some interesting people. Okay. Our general evaluator, Katie.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. I don't think we use this enough today. That's my first comment. And I know we could all hear each other, but I don't think that our Zoom participants could always hear everything that was shared. Can I get what? A what? And that reflects in the voting because I was also handling our voting. And so when you can be heard, then you connect with your audience. And so we will try to connect with all of our audience. And I will say that this is the first time I've been our general evaluator since we've started this hybrid meetings. A year ago, when school was starting, amidst all of this trials and tribulations that we have faced, my brother-in-law is a high school teacher at Williamsville. And they were going through quite a roller coaster, more than any other districts in the area. Do you remember them being in the news every single day? And he's a high school teacher. And one thing he was told was, no problem, you might have 50 students on Zoom and also in your classroom, you will have students. Now, we think it's hard to keep our audience captivated. Good luck with a handful of 13-year-olds or 16-year-olds or 6-year-olds. And I thought, you have what? What? How are you going to connect to those who are in front of you and who are those at home? And really be mindful of what they're doing, what they're not doing. It's hard enough to do with 25 students right in front of you. Good freaking luck, basically, is what I thought. Glad I semi-retired from my teaching time. In any case, it's something that, like Mike referenced, we will be continuing this in some way or the other. And if we're not personally for our careers or for our lives, those around us are. And it's a way of staying connected, whether it's with our kids, our grandkids, understanding how to be connected to those who are living with us and those who live so far away that we can still be connected. And that's an incredible opportunity, a silver lining that comes out of this crazy time. In any case, back to yard sales. Super fun. There are so many yard sales happening for the holiday weekend, and I didn't make plans, which is unusual for me, so much that I think I will take some beverages in a cooler and a chair, a lot of water, and go around to my friends' places that are having yard sales, perhaps. We shall see. The weather looks great, especially Friday and Saturday. In any case, I'm glad that we had a beautiful program today. For those of you at home, I hope you were able to use our regular online version of our agenda, but you certainly missed out because Jill made a beautiful program and she had all the details we needed, plus the address and time. Thank you, Larry, for sharing that in the chat. I missed it. I looked right at it and asked her where to go when she told me. In any case, Jill negotiated a wonderful meeting today and connected with us all. And let's move on to some feedback. I should have brought my phone up for the time, so I knew what time we had. Would you like me to call reports too, or, okay. The only other suggestion I have is for everyone. It was brought up last meeting and it's about our applause. And applause is important, and also pausing after the applause is critical for those of us here and those of us at home. Think of it like this. All live performers, whether they're musicians or comedians, need to be mindful of clapping and laughing. And if you start talking while the clapping is happening, most of the folks aren't hearing you, especially if you're not using this. I promise you. I promise you. And so give a pause. Let us gather our thoughts. Let the folks on Zoom hear us, because this arrangement worked much better today, I think. What do you think? Head, thumbs up, thumbs down? So I don't know if those on Zoom can tell, but we have certainly tweaked that. Thank you so much to those who came to the meeting last Thursday night to give feedback, those of you who messaged us and emailed us, and especially to Len, who came yesterday to arrange this. And thank you to him, our Sergeant at Arms, and Larry, our Zoom mastermind. And that's enough for that, I think.
I'm pretty sure it's Len.
Well, it's mostly Len, but then Larry is certainly on. We all know. He's taken a demotion, he's wanting that. Okay, let's get to our evaluators. Carol, I loved your evaluation. I thought it was short, but you made time or not? You didn't, okay. I was writing notes, I apologize. I thought you gave good constructive feedback though. So it wasn't just light for you, it was light for Mike. So give him the benefit of giving him a full amount of valuable feedback, because you're very good at it. And maybe you thought, I've got nothing else to share, fill up that time so that you do. I love that you wear your AM Lockport shirt. Thank you very much. Your badge was slipping a little bit. And it's such an easy thing to just assess where we're at, what we look like, how we're looking, but the shirt sells it on me. So thank you very much for wearing yours. And thank you, Margot, for giving me one, because I never bought one when I ought to have. Tom in Boston. Tom, hello. I agree. Phil is very proficient. He's quite the online presenter. He has worked very hard on these skills from over a year ago. Do you all remember? He was the best at telling us to make eye contact and look in the camera. He was absolutely the best at that. And I agree, it's not easy. Also, Tom, I like your new camera. So thank you very much for investing in that way to connect with us. Your language is always strong, exceptional, proficient. I agree. And I agree on your advice for Phil to give us a stronger call to action. It's hard to find advice for a DTM. Steve, lovely language, lost art, consciousness, succinct, extolling, concept, passion. You were clear, you were poised despite the technical gaps that you admitted. I love that you said we're on different planets, very funny for our club astronomer. And I only can suggest to you, after all that glowing language, you wrapped up with a much weaker finale and said, it was a very great speech. It was a very great speech. I'm not sure what that was, but you did thank him for speaking, and that finished it off much better. In any case, those are my evaluations of our evaluators, and I guess I will call for reports, since I also was tallying back here for our Mr. President. So let us go to, how about our master today is Margot.
So our plan is negotiated, we stop at 5. However, today, I guess I scared you. What is it when I'm grammarian and things? I just scare people. I think, hold on, intimidating. I don't see it, but anyway. Tracy had a 1. Mike had 2 so's. Mike Florio had a long so. Nancy, you had 2 today. I was shocked. Dave had an and a so. We had Carol Ann, you had one when you introduced them, two during your thing, only three. Fabulous job. Tom Moran, you had one. I was shocked. And that is all I caught today. So I hope I was using the listening skills as Mike talked about. So have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, Margot. See how easy that is? It's simple to think, just fill the time, but we do have the time for those pauses. I know it sounds strange coming from me. Pause, breathe. All right, how about back to Zoom land? My mom, Beth, is our tech and gesture master today. Would you like to unmute yourself, and they're spotlighting you now?
Okay. I felt today that our tech did work better than it had in previous meetings of trying to do this hybrid, and it is just sometimes difficult, particularly for those of us who are not really tech savvy. So I do have to thank Larry and Len. You're really working hard. I appreciate it. I hope the rest of you appreciate it. I did like the gestures that were used. Yes, on Zoom for both Phil and Mike, it's difficult to show all your gestures, but you did have very good hand gestures. Mike Licata, I liked your sweep of the room with your eyes. You did a really nice job with that. For Mike, I do have to agree that your facial expressions do really help to promote your speech. The dark eyebrows, I love it, because when you are really expressing yourself, those eyebrows move around, and that's part of expressing. That's part of gestures. I like it. So thank you. General Evaluator, back to you.
Thank you very much. Our grammarian today is Sylvia. Sylvia, would you like the microphone?
Yes. Thank you. This morning is grammarian. This job is always a challenge for me. And I did purposely sit between Margot and Kate because I knew they would pick or bring to my attention. I won't say. For example, Mike, Floria, she said, instead of the masseuse said, just stop there. Bill, I did notice you had many morphs. That was your word of the day. Morphizing, could have been used. Mike Licata had a couple of start overs or run-on sentences, and was your word of the day. And I do have to say, I was very impressed. No notes. Nothing. The speakers today did a great job. No notes and talking. It looked like they were talking off the cuff of their speech, and it was very nicely done. Tom Moran had a couple start overs. The words, some words. Oh, oasis. It was also brought to my attention. Decipher. Mike also had a couple ands as a start over. And I think that's about all I have today. Kate, one word and it's, oh, I want to point out, Kate, trying to get her point across to us, one word at a time, and she did it, got our attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia, very much. And I don't want to miss anyone here. I think we will jump to the quiz was texted to me by Marty. I hope you were all paying attention because he has several questions with no answers. And so someone in the room knows the answers. Are you ready? Question number one. What was the quote from Dr. Gerald from FDR?
Help us here. The only limit of our realization of tomorrow will be your doubts of today.
Excellent inspiration. Thank you. We were all still getting our minds into Toastmasters. Number 2, what is Nancy Ferry's spending limit at a garage sale or tag sale?
You mentioned $100 for
We're going to go with that. I missed that myself. So limit would be not going to any of them preferably. I think that's what my takeaway was on that. Number 3, what type of lights did Thomas Heldwine mention during table topics? Twinkle lights.
Christmas
$6
lights.
Twinkle lights. Why? Number 4, why did Dave Licata run back to his car from a garage sale?
To get a quarter.
Either to get 50 cents or to make a runaway with this item.
Price, I had 2 quarters in my pocket. I couldn't believe that she was letting this go for 50 cents. Because I worked at Make Your Own and I knew that they retailed like $39.50 or something.
He was running before she changed her mind. That was my
Exactly.
takeaway. I thought also, maybe he needs to go get changed, because sometimes don't bring money when you walk up to the tag sale, yard sale, so that you have to go back to your car to get some, and then you spend less. Number 5, what was the title of Mike Licata's speech?
Side effect.
Side effect. Well done. Number 6, and there's 7 questions. Number 6, in Phil's path, visionary communications, he spoke about HHWW.
Healthy and wise.
Excellent. And the final question is about Mike Florio. What did Mike Florio mention was the first thing to understand about journaling? Why? Excellent job, folks. I didn't even need the answer since you had most of them. Okay. And I believe we all, am I missing anyone besides the word master? That's last, correct? We're good? Excellent. David Jones from Charlotte. Queen City, right? Yeah. All right, David.
Thank you. It is Queen City because of the Queen Charlotte, or Queen Mecklenburg, which is our county we live in, and she was from Germany. So that's where we get the name Charlotte in Mecklenburg County. The word of the day, negotiate, did okay. We got about 80%. Margot got it in last minute to bring it up to about the 80% mark. And my only question was, I think Margot only wears her tiara during grammarian, or does she only do that on Zoom?
Yeah, only when I'm grammarian.
Okay, great. That I want to make sure you still have it in person. And that's it for me. Back to Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you for negotiating a wonderful meeting today. And that was a great word to throw in for us. I made notes of our winners somewhere and then I lost it. So good job, Kate, on having too many papers. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, for coming back up. If you have any last words to share while I dig in my notes.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
That's why you use Excel.
What, yeah. In the process of looking, I also found out that there's a Modern Family episode titled Yard Sale. And there's a Sammy Kershaw song called Yard Sale. It's a country song and it is typical. Oh, my life is over. I listened to it yesterday and decided it was not worth trying to figure out a way to bring it to share here. Yeah. So that's most of what I have. Yard sales actually are a United States phenomenon. Right? But it's, as Dave noticed, my Egyptian story was fabricated. I don't know if anybody else caught on to that.
So good.
I did have to come up with something. I mean, I got good inspiration with Gerald Stevens and his tall tales. So. Okay, here she comes. She's got all the ribbons.
just made them up.
Does she have the name?
Yes, I do. Congratulations to all our presenters today. Our best table topics was given by Nancy today. This was a tight. Would you like to give in and take home, madam?
They're always good.
And our best evaluator today is Steve Smith. Steve, our best evaluator. And our best speaker today is Phil Russell. Phil, let me know if you'd like me to say this for you, Phil. Okay, any announcements for the day? Any announcements? Go ahead, yes, Karen.
I'd just like to say that I'm good friends with Diane, who runs the Cousins, and she appreciates any business. She said, I think last week, I wasn't here in person, but she said last week, I guess some people.
She had at least 8 of us.
Yes, excellent. So a couple weeks before also, so Cousins Cafe is the cafe directly below us. She gives us her Wi-Fi for free and we can support her. They open at 7 a.m. We're trying to get that a little earlier for coffee and whatnot before the meetings. If anyone can come, that's great. She seems like quite a nice lady.
Yeah, and her Friday fish fries are very reasonable and very good.
Excellent.
Next
So
time
come
you're
back
at
in
the
evening.
airport, steal a beverage cart for the poor lady. She can push it on the elevator and bring it up there.
Oh, yes, well, she has offered to come up, so, or maybe a card or maybe not. In any case, I also would love to thank everybody who came to our picnic on Sunday. We had a great time. The picture is posted, I believe, on our website and our Facebook page. And thanks to Samir for some of that PR. He is our VP of PR. We presented the DTM awards to 4 of our 6 most recent DTMs. And thank you. It was Anne Marie and Mark and Larry and Deb Franco. So all 4 were there to get their presentation. And we will still have parties for anybody who wants one. And I also have a medal for one other. Jen is out of town in Yellowstone. That's why she couldn't join us there or today. And Jackie Kenny is here. She was with family on Sunday, but we do have her medal with her name engraved upon it. So Jackie Kenny. I was going to say
Yay.
around your neck.
Yes.
Move over.
Big ceremony. Got
Thank
5
you.
At
minutes.
least we don't have to do
I
something.
didn't want to put my fingerprints on it, but. Very much. Any final announcements? And, oh, we need to, Jackie, can you, Jackie, can you do a split vote because Phil is unable to reach over this far? His arm isn't that long. He was trying to be a person today, but he couldn't be a person today. So Jackie will be a person for you.
Who's our
Okay.
Toastmaster next week?
Good question.
001 are the last 3.
Oh,
It's Dave Lagata is the winner. Thank you very much.
Right, Dave's playing breakfast.
That's what you get, Zoomers. You don't get the chance to win our big bucks.
Carol Ann is our Toastmaster next week, and she has a theme for the week.
I do. It's Beyond Van Gogh.
Oh, Beyond Van Gogh, the presentation nearby at the Eastern Hills Mall is on until October. We'll hear about Beyond Van Gogh next week, and meeting adjourned. Stick around for post.
Kate?
Yes.
Kate, I did have a question that I wanted to ask. I didn't hear anything about dues. Are they still?
Yes, Sylvia slipped it in. I don't know. I'm yelling. Sylvia did slip it in to message. She emailed around and she's been announcing it, but you can go right on the link to pay the dues on the website. If you think you already paid for the year, you can check with her directly. She did make a point last week that it saves the club a couple dollars if you mail a check, but if PayPal, if the link is faster for you, we absorb that cost. So does that help? We've talked
how much
about, at the meeting last week, there is talk about putting a proposal in. We haven't tied that down yet. There's 2 proposals coming up the pike to vote on as a club. One would be raising dues slightly, hasn't happened in quite a long time, somewhat to cover some costs. That is to be determined. The other voting would be to continue this trial run here for a short term because we're still assessing what's working, what's not working, and other options as well. So those are things that will come more in emails once Carol and I are together on connecting with the minutes from last week. And thanks everybody who attended both the Zoom meeting for the hybrid planning in the evening and then the officers meeting. So we're trying to consolidate those notes. Jackie made a great request that we take better notes to disseminate those to everybody. So that's kind of coming.
Okay.
It's coming soon.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Thank you. Thank you. So the sooner you pay the dues, the sooner that's set, but maybe we'll have an additional amount. It's due by the end of September. So get that in. Get that in. And also we're in need for a Toastmaster in a couple of weeks. Take a look at the agenda on the website. And there are some gaps. If you'd like to, please sign yourself up. And contest September 30th, and it's all blank. You can sign up to be contest master or a contestant. So those are my final announcements, I guess.
What contest is it?
The fall, it is humorous and evaluation contest. So you can target speaker and contestants. So, thanks, Tom. Does that
Thank
make sense? I feel like I want to look at your face. This is tough. Phil is the best at guiding us. Just look at the camera and you're making it.
It's